Hi there, I'm Sam Flegal and I'm an artist. If you'd like to see my project, go to fatefulsigns.com where you can see the art I've made around my love for Norse mythology. So I've been doing these videos, kind of checking in week to week after I created the first video, kind of asking artists to take a day, to take a break, to reform themselves. And I've been getting a lot of feedback that people are enjoying these. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Having this conversation has been very meaningful to me, and I hope it's been meaningful to you guys as well. So at this point, I personally am about 15, 16 days into social distancing, family quarantine. I'm at home with my wife and my daughter, who is 10 years old. And it's been interesting. You know, each week I've kind of talked about where I am, what's going on, and suggestions that might be helpful. The thing I'm realizing is that I am starting to settle in. There's an equilibrium that's happening, and that makes sense. You know, when you read about forming habits, particularly when you're trying to form good work habits, that it takes at least 2 weeks to get used to a routine, and it can take upwards of like 6 weeks to a couple of months for it to really become a habit. So at this point, if you're like me and you've been home, you might be experiencing, okay, so this is the new normal. This is how things are, particularly if you're at home with other people. I imagine it's very different if you're home alone, because you could really be craving human contact, human touch, because we all need human touch. Even the most introverted among us eventually benefits from interacting with other people. But if you're like me and you're home with your family and you're still having the majority of your needs met, you're healthy, everyone in your family's healthy, there's a certain sense of normalcy that's settling in. And it's interesting to see how things are developing. So I've not been waking up at 6 a.m. I think in an earlier video, I suggested that as a tactic, and I have tried it, and it's just not working with the schedule where things are. I think some of that's because I am having trouble going to sleep earlier. Usually going to sleep isn't a problem for me, but you know, with a little bit higher anxiety and you know, just everything being what it is, I find it easier to go to sleep a little later, to wake up a little later. I'm also working out still. That's the one consistent thing I've done. Worked out at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week for the 2 weeks. And that's been relatively comforting. I enjoy the physical relief. It's good for, you know, endorphins and creativity and getting your mind right. And so I'm definitely not going to stop doing that, and would recommend to the guys out there, definitely, if you're not working out, think about doing a workout routine. So that part makes sense to me. And then I'm starting the day, and I'm either making art right away and making art all day, or I'm tweaking my website, talking and communicating online, answering emails, just all the normal work things. But the other thing I've noticed is that I don't totally have days off. So I'm not working as concentrated as I do when my daughter's in school, because I'm taking breaks for lunch and we're eating lunch as a family and cooking as a family and having that time together and then going back to work. So there's more work periods broken up throughout the day, and I'm kind of working every day. There's not really a day off. And maybe I should take a day off, or maybe it's more just that I've taken my normal work week, and because there's more interruptions, I've spread that same amount of work over the 7 days than 5 days, so that there's plenty of interaction with my daughter, because it's tough for the kids. They're home and they're not trying to work, they're not trying to be productive, they're just trying to not go nuts. And so it's important to, you know, stay in contact with them while doing that. But in general, I feel like things are settling. Now, business-wise, things that have been working, things that have been weird. I've finished up several commission projects, and some of them have gone normally, where I've been paid and sent them off, but I've also had several where the person has said, look, I love it, the art is great, I do plan to pay you still, but I can't right now, because the bottom's dropped out for them too. I work with a lot of small businesses, and they've been hit just as hard as I have. I work with a lot of individuals who are commissioning things for personal or private use, and all that while I finished my end, because the commission had been going on for a couple of months and I suddenly had time to finish all the stuff I've got going on. it's not resulted in payment on the other end, at least not now. And I do still believe in the cases where this has happened that that's going to move forward. So that's been a little bit discouraging. But on the flip side, the thing that has been working is that I've been doing a 20% off sale at Fateful Signs. And last week, I had a sale roughly every day. I also was contacted by an art collector who purchased an original painting, the Odin triptych series that I'd done where I did a painting of Odin's wolves, Odin drinking wine, and then Odin's ravens. Originally, I was planning to sell it as a set, but I did break it up and sold the individual painting of Odin's ravens. And the other two, I'll just separate it out and sell them individually. And that's fine. It was amazing because now with the sale of that original, things are secure for me for another month out. And that gives me time to kind of plan and play with other projects and see what can be done moving forward. So that's been a real blessing. And also it's been so amazing to have so many people reach out to me during this time and pick up something at fatefulsigns.com, even if it's small, selling prints, selling playmats, selling books. It's meant a lot. And I've been doing videos of myself packing up each person's order, and I've been saying the person's name and saying thank you over on Instagram, and that seems to be going really well as well. I feel like it's really important to acknowledge the people who are able to help right now in this time. I think that's been huge. I also received a gift from Jacob Walker, who wrote me this lovely letter telling how much that these videos have meant to him during this time. And I just wanted to check this out. This is an amazing piece he did. This is Moonin, the companion to the Hugin piece. Those are Odin's ravens. And he sent me a print, and I think it's amazing. Jacob, thank you so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Played around with Instagram Live last week, and that was really interesting. Needed to work on my lighting a little bit, but certainly something that more and more artists are doing. It's something I'm going to try again, and that was a really fun way to interact with people in real time. Really excited to see where that's going to go. Things are also going really well over at Patreon. Really been enjoying the interaction with people and just the back and forth. Things like that to me are really important right now. And so I hope you guys are benefiting as well. And yeah, I mean, I guess in general, things are okay. Looks like we're going to be this way for a while, and that's all right. You know what? We're going to get through this. And, as per usual, I'd say just care about the people that are around you. Make sure to hug those that are near to you. Take care of the kids and the other people that are in your life. If you're alone, please make sure to reach out online. Don't isolate yourself. And remember that, it's okay to also recognize that we're all in a stage of mourning. It was really hard for me when I realized that I was not going to precisely recreate the income that I lost from not doing Spectrum Live, a convention I did really well at last year, was canceled, and it may happen again. It may not happen for a year, but regardless, that income is just gone for me right now. Will there be future incomes? Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna make more money. I'm not so much worried about that, but I felt this pressure I was putting on myself to instantly come up and replace that income that I perceived as having lost. And I just want to let you guys know that it's okay to not do that. It's all right to just mourn the loss, to be sad, and to understand that you do have to shift and pivot. But the thing about shifting and pivoting is that it's going to take time to build up the next thing you're going to do. It's not just going to be a quick little, bait and shift and suddenly the new thing's working. It's going to take time for all of us to really build up our online businesses again. And obviously it's going to take time for the economy to recover in a way where everyone's able to support each other and, pay for things again. And so, for a while, it's not going to work. The old things aren't going to work. And it's okay to be sad about that. And it's also, I just hope that you guys don't beat yourselves up the way I beat myself up trying to figure out a quick way or a fast way to replace that. And the reality is it's just not going to be fast. It's going to be built slowly. The same way I built up my convention business in the first place. I didn't have a huge blowout the first con I ever went to. Heck, even the first years of going to conventions, it was slowly. You know, first I made a couple $100, then it was a couple of $1,000, and now it's, you know, more than $10,000 at some shows, and growing and growing. And I've seen people do amazing, and that took time to build. This is going to take time too. So allow yourself the time to grow and to mourn and to not be so hard on yourself. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope that you all are loving the people near to you and doing the things that are right for both your health, the health of our community, because we all share a community together. And don't be so hard on yourself. Anyway, I hope to see you guys in a week or so. Be good, be kind, and I'll see you then. Thanks.